Hey, felicitations! It's me, Felicia Day, and this is my podcast slash videocast slash whatever. And I have an amazing guest here right now, and I'm really excited for him to be here. It is Taran Killam!
Felicia Day! Hi,
Whoa,
buddy.
whoa, 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 whoa!
Bam, 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 bam. We've come so far from Coalinga.
Oh my God, we have some stories to share with everybody.
We do.
First of all, thank you so much for being here. This is a treat.
It's an honor to be here. I like hanging with you anytime, but it's fun to do it in an official public capacity.
It is officially public. I want to tell you something. I was literally looking through my phone the other day, and I found a video of you singing, crooning to a puppet. And can you describe what happened to us the other day, that time? Because I would love to share the horror of that evening with the audience before they get to know anything about how we know each other.
It was fascinating. No, it was great. I mean, there were a few angles. I didn't know what to expect. It's Bob Baker marionettes, yes?
Yeah, there was Bob Baker marionettes, and it was our friend David Dasmalchian.
Yes, who invited me. It's his favorite place. Yeah, Dasmalchian. Yeah, I go real fast and lazy with it. David Dasmalchian.
Just in case you screwed up, you're just like, hello, friend.
I'm not screwing it up. I'm confident with it. David Dasmalchian. And that was his favorite place because they've switched locations, and this was officially their last performance or their last kind of party night event in the old space. So he invited a bunch of people who'd never been before, and it was presented to me as just live karaoke. We're just doing a party to raise money, and they're changing locations, and it's live karaoke. Yeah, that's it. That's all I knew. And I was like, well, I love karaoke. I am way in. And I showed up, and what I did not anticipate or know is that he was basically not, it wasn't just like karaoke, come and put in a song. He had like a performance order, like however you agree to show up. He's like, great, you're 17th. And you were performing in between marionette presentation. It would be like 3 or 4 singers and then a marionette puppet sketch show scene. Mm-hmm. And then when you went back to the karaoke, the marionette puppeteers and puppets themselves would come out and perform with you.
Yep. This was, and by the way, this is basically every nightmare I have every night. Showing up to set, not knowing my lines, not knowing what I'm supposed to be doing there, not supposedly knowing, supposed to have known what I was doing and not knowing it.
Yes, sure.
It's literally the most triggering evening I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
But it was top 10.
It was up there. Well, I will say, like, your presence there was
Emily
very
Gordon.
helpful. Emily being there. All of that was very comforting and made it more friendly for sure. But there was still easily 100 people there, most of which were strangers.
We did not know these people. No,
at least a quarter of which were puppeteers, were like employees and puppeteers.
And also like, I think you went after me, but I've never experienced such terror because I picked a song that I like to sing really cheesy and I don't sing well. Like if I had known I was going to perform, I would have done Little Mermaid. That's what my voice does really well. I'm just a stupid princess. So I can do those songs and perform them. Yeah. And I would have been, but he didn't tell us that. He just said, there's some karaoke in the back.
Exactly.
So I can't remember the song that you sang, but it was to a 4-foot puppet that was super, super realistic and creepy. I'm going to see if I can find it on my phone while we talk.
Yeah, if you want to put it up, my memory is it was like a 4-foot tall, like kind of ballerina, almost like an Audrey Hepburn, My Fair Lady post-transformation kind of princess lady. And I sang Bryan Adams' Everything I Do It For You.
Oh my God, that was it. Yeah. Which
classic crowd pleaser, ballad. You can emote, dramatic, and I went for it. I love to commit. So
you're a natural performer. Like you really like to get up in there, and you did a whole live show. That whole thing was live, right? Or is that just a rumor?
I got it up in that puppet. No, it's all scripted. We're all CGI in that live show.
Really? Is that true?
It's recorded a month and a half out. We do it on Tuesday days. It should be called Tuesday Day Pre-Record.
I don't know how. Now, I would love to talk to you about that experience because I've done I've done several. Oh, here it is. Oh, I got it. Wait. There was a puppet. Where was it? Where was it? Oh, God damn it. No, that was a different puppet show. It was a different puppet show. Different
one. One of the other top 10 moments?
Other top 10 moments when I went to a different person's puppet performance and I couldn't find them. Yeah.
You haven't made it in Hollywood till you're invited to several puppet fundraisers.
So tell me let's scoot back because I'm going to find this thing. I'm going to play it, even though people won't be able to see it. I'm going to give a crap.
Great. You have a high quality camera.
Oh, you need to get this camera, guy. Come on. You
Sennheiser, yeah?
No, it's a Sony 4400.
Sony. Yeah,
I'm
Sony 4400. Okay.
Okay, well, you can do it. I mean, you are on the A7 right now?
Yeah.
Why are you so blurry? I look so much better than you. I mean, this is not for the podcast people, but I just look way better than you.
You always look better than me, though.
No, I mean, that's just a filter. Okay, so listen. So let's describe how we know each other. Now, this was 2004, y'all.
Oh,
we met in 2004 because do you know how I know that? Because I skipped an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer in order to do the very terrible pilot that we did together.
Yeah, if that marionette puppet show wasn't a convoluted enough story for you, hold on to your butts.
Hold on to your butts, because we have a meet cute that wasn't in that way at all. Yeah, but it was a friend. No. It was a friend cute kind of.
It was a friend cute, and it certainly was a bonding experience, even more so than a normal pilot, I would argue.
No, I mean, I've never done another pilot. No one's ever wanted me. That was the only time. That was really the highlight of my Hollywood career, that I passed through a network test without having an absolute nervous breakdown that probably needed to be I needed to be medicated afterwards. So I've been to many tests, always choked. I'm a choker if you don't know it. So the good thing about this one was that it was in a very small, I remember the callback, and it was a very small, somewhat closet-like place, which
office.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. I can't find this. So guys, I'm going to post it. What I'm going to do, if you're okay with it, I'll post a little bit of it on my Twitter and I'll just link you, because it's somewhere in here. I don't know what happened. Love it. And there's so many selfies of me, which I don't understand why. Do you go through your phone?
You got to tag those people. I do. I have children, so I favorite things and I tag faces because it organizes things, and locations. That's what's huge. Like going on to location, you could go to the map right now. It doesn't matter what year. You go to downtown LA, creepy theater row, and it would find all those pictures and photos for you. But I'm gonna give the log line. Post it later. I'll give the log line for what the pilot was. Is that it was a hybrid, improvised comedy reality show about a fictional family from Beverly Hills, Bel Air, who go through bankruptcy and are shamed and are dishonored because the father did bad business, although that was never very clear. And it was a family of 4, and we were hired actor, improviser, comedian performers who were taken to a real city, Coalinga, California.
Coalinga.
Where they sort of tried to, they would try to script an outline of what was supposed to take place scene by scene, with slight variations depending on the real people's reactions. And the people we were interacting with thought we were a real family, didn't know that we were actors, although I think they caught on almost immediately.
I mean, when I started just like saying the most ridiculous things about my just having I was like a goth. I was kind of like a goth, kind of like really tormented kind of girl, which is like one of my go-tos. And I started just having like tantrums in front of people, and they were just like, oh, you know, but it was such a disaster, you guys. And what we couldn't do, we were put up at the Harris Ranch Hotel, which is known for their grain-fed beef, and they're very good. Harris Ranch is great. And we were put up in the hotel, but we were not allowed to leave the hotel by ourselves the whole time that we shot.
Yes.
We were prisoner.
I did have a PA take me to, I see somebody commenting Joe Schmo. It wasn't even Joe Schmo. It was not, it was so confusing, because it was like, it was like, are we punking them? Are we messing with them? But they're real. But like, are we the Kardashians? No, because we're like, we're
not ourselves.
All Caucasian, but we also don't look that related to each other. And But we really bonded there because I brought out my, I think at the time, PS2, and I did have a PA drive me to a local Kmart, like in a different city, so that I could buy like the new PS2 Sims cartridge, so that I could play
remember that. And we played The Sims the whole week. And can I just let you know, I don't know if you know this, but the PA that drove us around and smuggled you out to the Kmart was Justin Roiland.
Roiland, I know. Yeah, Justin Roiland of Rick and Morty fame, who won
an Emmy last week. One of the most successful animation producers in the world is Justin Roiland. He drove us around. So
it was you got there. I feel like there's so much to unpack from this pilot because
there's so much to unpack.
I didn't realize that at the time. I saw him at a Comic-Con and he told me that. And then I shared with him the story that like where the biggest red flag to me was like we would do production meetings the night before of what was going to be filmed the next day. Yeah. And the first one we did in sort of like a conference roomy, bigger suite with the director, creators of the show, we do it. And as we do the meeting, they're passing around a little tin box with rolled joints in them.
I didn't remember that.
And they're like, and they're like, here, do you want anything? And I was just like, oh no.
You were like underage, weren't you? You were just 18.
Oh no. If it was 2004, I was 22. Yep.
Oh my God. We were such babies. So I was like, I was too. I was like maybe a year or two older. And then I was on Buffy and I turned down an episode to do this. And the whole time I was like, I cannot believe I'm not in this episode. It was a Nathan Fillion episode where he played Caleb. I missed it.
That. Whoa.
So I missed that.
It came back around though. It came back around
because I did get to work with Nathan again. And then on top of all this, you will not even believe how. So I never. Did you ever see the pilot?
I did. Yeah, I have a copy of it somewhere.
It's really bad. Like I'm not good. You're not good. None of us are good.
It doesn't look good. It doesn't. No. And Kevin Ruff, who played our father.
So funny.
One of the funniest improviser people in the world, but there was no like, what are we doing here? What is the end result here? And I remember like my storyline was that I had to lie to this group of local kids and I'm like 22 hanging out with 15-year-olds. So already that doesn't make any sense. And I try to convince them because they've done reconnaissance and they knew that this group of 15-year-olds had their own band. And I'm supposed to I'm supposed to listen to them play and then lie to them and say I'm best friends with the Foo Fighters and that I'll have the Foo Fighters come to town. It was so mean. The mean part of it, like that I hate. I was like, I guess it's on me. I'm seeing the name of the show. It was at first called Here Come the Johnsons, right? Like which was a dick joke. And then that didn't clear. So then it ended up being Here Come the Jones or Here Come the Joneses. Yeah.
Joneses.
Yeah.
I remember I kind of crumpled because there was one night we were doing the finale and like the idea was that we'd go in and just get out. But for some reason they were doing pickups outside. So I had
they left you inside. I remember that very well.
They left me inside when all the locals would come up to me and be like, it's okay, honey. We're going to make such a night. You can join the cheerleading team. And I had to leave and go to the bathroom because I was crying because I felt so terrible about deceiving these people who genuinely thought I was a juvenile delinquent.
Sure. Yes. Yeah.
So, also,
now look at us.
Here's the irony here. Charlie Siskel was the creator of the show, right? Or he was the producer. I remembered his name because he won an Oscar.
I beg your pardon?
He is a very famous documentary producer now. And I was watching this movie called Finding Vivian Maier, which is one of the best documentaries I've ever seen about this underground woman who was like in the 50s or 40s who did like street photography and she was a nanny. And so somebody got her storage unit full of the most brilliant photography you've ever seen in your life, but she never showed anybody of it. And it was like this whole documentary. So if you look at his IMDb credits, he's won Emmys, he's won like a lot of amazing stuff.
We helped him work out the kinks. You know what I mean? We were part of his education.
The funny thing is that Welcome to the Joneses is not in his IMDb. So I'm not
listed. We can correct that. I have a pro account, so I'll correct that as soon as we're done.
Anyway, so I'm not going to pay for a pro account. I did it for about 8 years. I was like, I've given you enough. Okay. So I'm just going to stop. I don't need it. I don't need to be able to change my headshot. Just whatever you want to use.
Yeah.
So that is how I know you. And then we kind of lost touch, but then I ran into you because of your wife, Kobe,
Mhm.
because of the Joss Whedonverse kind of connection thing. So that was a nice
Exactly.
renewal.
Through through
Or for
Allison and
Allison and
Alexis.
Alexis, yes.
Yeah.
How I Met
So
Your
that
Mother, and then the Joss thing. So it was
it
all
all
like
it all comes back to
Hollywood.
Joss.
It is. It does. He is
It does.
a social connector. It's true.
Yes.
But
Yes.
anyway, well, I'm glad I know you. You are so
I'm glad I
funny,
know you.
and
Right
I'm
back
excited
at
for your
you.
Twitch thing. So let's talk about, we
Oh,
we
cool.
talked all Hollywood crap. Let's talk about Twitch. So because you texted me the other day, because you know my friend Kate Micucci.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So I reached
Yes.
out to Kate. Kate is someone that we've kind of double bubbled with, Kate and Jake and Mikey.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so we've seen them. And I was telling Kate that, like many people in this quarantine time, I've always loved video games, as is evident from our failed pilot story.
Sims,
From our
PlayStation 2,
Sims
Sims,
experience.
lock in.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think I was at like Emerald City Con in Seattle 4 or 5 years ago, and it was a huge like Twitch banner. I said, "What's that?" And they're like, it's YouTube for gamers. And I immediately was like, that sounds incredible and very up my alley. But I just really never had the time, and I've had so much time now, Felicia, to do
I
so
know
many things.
and you're such a busy, like, you're an actual extrovert person. I feel like you like other people, so this is probably hard for you.
I do feel I'm missing parts of life. I love Disneyland. I love going to Disneyland. That's maybe the experience I miss the most since March, because I'm like an annual pass holder. I'll go once or twice a month. So that's
how my employees were at my company. They'd be like, "We're going to dinner at Disney." The mall at Disney. I'm like, why? Why would you go to downtown Disney? Why would you do that?
They got a lot of options. They do a bunch of different cuisine. You could do Mexican. You could do New Orleans. You could get a gumbo down there at the Jazz Cafe.
Wow, thank you for selling me. I'm there.
just that alone. I'll take you. We've become 33 members, and that has really changed the game. And I'll show you a Disneyland experience that you'll never want to leave.
Okay, I'll take my baby because
Good night.
I've tried to keep her away from it. I've tried to keep her. It just doesn't. It doesn't work. I won't show her Snow White.
Hardcore Knott's Berry Farm. You only take her to Knott's Berry Farm, and you only go into the jam store.
Just the jam store. That's it. I'm there for the only for the picking of the pumpkin. Anything organic, she can't get on a ride. It's too aggressive. No, I basically had a no screen rule until she was 3-ish, and then quarantine hit, and then I was just like, well, we're doing it. And every night we play Mario, and now she knows ground pound. She's like, Mama, look at me on the trampoline. And she'll do a ground pound. I'm like, am I ruining her? Oh, well, who knows?
Or
what's the alternative?
Have you created basically the Fred Savage character from the movie The Wizard? And she goes on to great acclaim and becomes an esports star because she knew ground pound before she was 5 years old.
Now, do you play video games with you have 2 kids? I don't want to talk about your kids if you don't want to talk about them. So
it's all good. Daughters. No, I have 2 daughters. They do like video games. They're big Robloxers. They love the Roblox.
Oh yeah. That's the new Minecraft, right?
Exactly. They're all about it. And then on Sundays they'll play with me, and I really shake it up with them. We did a lot of Minecraft. We do some farm together. Now with the younger one, I'm reading her all the Harry Potter novels. We're up to Order of the Phoenix. So we're doing Harry Potter Lego, and that's been so fun.
That's pretty cool. I want to do that with my baby. Although, Harry Potter, I just have to kind of separate myself from the whole thing and just be like, I love Harry Potter.
I agree.
Exactly. What other castle can we get? Yes.
Mythology, and yeah.
And Hermione is a great character. She's a little hero. She ends up with the wrong dude.
100%.
Teach the controversy.
You think she should be with Harry?
Oh, for sure. What?
I think I don't. I understand people not being like pro Hermione Ron. That's fine with me. Like I much prefer like a Hermione ends up with like a Dean Thomas. Like they reconnect. They go away from each other and they reconnect. And they were never close at school, but they had enough in common. The Harry of it all, like I love Harry and Ginny. That's fine, but he's just also like. He's doomed from the outset. Yeah. You know what I mean? I almost don't wish that on Hermione. Like if Ron doesn't deserve Hermione, Harry's equally doesn't deserve her. And I'm a big long bottom love good. Those are my people.
Long bottom love good. Yeah. Luna is like
those are my people.
She's my heart. Yeah, I agree. You know, Hermione seems better than both of them because Harry is just going to be like, he's a guy who won't go to therapy but needs a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? And then Ron is just a guy who's going to scratch his balls and watch him rugby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
I don't mean to be a jerk about it, but there's just nothing deep there. He's never going to he's going to maybe he remembers the anniversary like once in a blue moon, and you're just like, oh my god, you remembered? Like this is the only time you remember because he doesn't give a shit any other day.
Dobby sent to remember all to him. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So yeah, I've never been a fan of Ron. And so yeah, it's okay. We can. People in chat are hating us.
Ron gets so many points because of Mrs. Weasley, right? Like Ron, for sure. Like that's why that relationship exists is for Mrs. Weasley.
And who was the hot Weasley? There was a hot Weasley, right?
Bill.
Was it
Bill is the hot Weasley. Bill ends up with Fleur Delacour.
Yeah, Bill's a hot Weasley. He's the one I actually had a thing for.
He did.
I had a little thing, you know, not a creepy thing. He was overage, wasn't he? He was over 18.
Yeah, as in canon, as soon as the book started. Yeah, he was
exactly. So I'm fine.
He was. You only have to be 17 to be an adult in the wizarding world too. By the way, so.
Oh, really? Is that legal?
Yeah.
Status age is 17.
Yeah.
What is that? What?
Fred and George can apparate in their final year, which is where we're at right now because they passed their apparition test. So you only have to be 17. Yeah.
So age of consent in the Harry Potter verse is 17.
I think it's even younger. Cho Chang was too upset over Cedric's death for them to have not knocked the boots.
For sure. That was an intimate relationship. And listen, if you watched Euphoria, it happens. If you know any kid who ever went to Crossroads, you know what's going on there.
Oh boy.
It is a West Side. That is a deep inside LA reference. No one will get. And there you go. Yeah. So what have you been doing? Okay, so what is your goal with Twitch?
Twitching. What is my goal with Twitch? Here's my favorite thing about Twitch now. Is that connection to people. I did not anticipate that. I was like, I'll go on and I'll play video games because I think I've always been a little dismissive of the idea of watching somebody else play when you can play yourself. But what I have enjoyed, and as you astutely pointed out, that sort of social connection, that's my favorite part of it now. But I'm new. I'm like 2 months new. I'm maybe like 2.5 months in now, and I'm a little fresh little baby. And we do a Monday night and a Thursday night, and that's much more casual. And I call that sexy, boring lullaby games because I only play very juvenile, dumb games so that I can focus more on the interaction and stuff like that.
Oh, is that why you were looking at my Dream House game that I accidentally started up?
That is way up my alley for SGBL. Yeah.
I think you'll like that. You should.
LG.
You know what you also should try is Ooblets because Ooblets is also it's really it's like an adult hipster version of a kiddie game, so it actually would be super up your alley. I think they're giving an expansion this month too. I'm obsessed with it. I played it all the way up until there's new content coming out. 100% recommend it. Also, I want to play Hades really badly, but I have too many games. I play. Like there's too many. Don't you agree?
On by accident.
100%. I was like, I don't know why this is. You were looking at my Steam list. You're like, what's Dream Home? I'm like, are you spying on me?
You're my only Discord friend. You're my only streaming Discord friend.
Well, that'll change. You'll get more maybe. If not, it's okay.
But I'm new. I mean, I'm new to both of those things, but it's been fun. And there are so many games. So like categorizing it like that is great. Like this will come as no shocker, but we're playing the Disneyland game right now, Mondays and Thursdays. We've done some Peggle 2. We've done Farm Together. But I'm going to check out Ooblets. But then on Wednesday nights, that's kind of like what I'm putting the most energy into because I have people over here and we all get tested beforehand, and it's people who are being very diligent with social distancing and COVID protection measures. But I have a friend over and I interview him for an hour similar to this, but I have them play like very scary video games, and that's called Get Dead.
You invited me.
I have invited you per your comfort level, and you said, let me check it out. And we've done 4 now. We've got Vanessa Bayer is coming tomorrow night. Yeah, so it should be really fun.
Okay, everybody tune into that. I do stream on Wednesdays, but I allow everybody to go and watch. Karen.
We rated you once We
I didn't
rated
see
you
it.
once,
God
and it
damn
was
I'm
very
sorry.
funny. Oh, no worries. It was very funny because what happened was this was an introduction to slow chat,
Mhm.
because we rated you and everybody was following me. We jumped in and you were literally like, okay guys, so tomorrow I'll tune in and this was really fun and thank you, and you clicked off, and then it said,
Oh no!
we've rated
Oh
you.
no! It was after. No wonder I didn't see it. I was
It
like, I
showed
would
up
have known. I
after.
usually notice.
Exactly. It was pretty funny. It was pretty great.
Well, I will try to raid
But yeah,
you next time. I usually, yeah, but that's
we'll rate
good.
it.
That's good. It's good that you're doing 3 nights a week. That's a lot, man. And who
Yeah,
who when you talk about who are
sure.
you? Is it you and your community or you and other people?
I mean the community. Yeah, I've got
Okay, yeah.
like a good core. There's like 24 people who've been there like since the beginning who keep
It's
coming
amazing.
back and are wonderful, lovely people. I've
That
jumped
is
in,
the
I've played
core.
Among Us, them.
Mhm.
It's been a good time.
That is how you start a good community. You don't try to just chase after the popular games and get just randos coming in because they're probably
Right.
jerks.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think you're starting off right and you genuinely love what you're doing. And I think that's really the key.
Yeah,
And
I
also,
do. I like it.
just doing fun stuff, like, just doing things that you don't even have to do video games. I know people who do cooking, they
Yeah.
do just like ASMR. You can like
Yes.
start doing this thing. And
Okay. Is that just like a Billie Eilish chat?
uh,
Is that just hashtag Billie
I think that
Eilish and
actually
people know
Billie,
what they're signing up for?
I didn't realize she's an ASMR singer, isn't she? I never thought
Yeah,
about that. She's
for
very much
sure.
like that. Well, I just want to share one story. I didn't do
Oh,
a lot. So I usually share what I did last week, which I burned my hand very badly yesterday. And if you
I
want
was
to see
gonna
some,
ask. I couldn't tell at first if it was like a carpal tunnel. She's on the computer and that's a port,
no,
but that's just loose
I
gauze
have
wrapped around your ball.
huge blisters on all my fingertips
Oh,
because
yeah, yeah.
I was basically curling my hair because although guys, today this is the last you're going to see of my hair. So this is the last of my hair. I'm going to cut it right here.
Ooh, cute.
Tomorrow it's
Nice.
going to be good. I'm very excited about it.
Are you
So
doing locks for love? Are you doing that?
nobody wants this hair. It is trash. It's
Okay,
trash. Look at it.
I apologize for asking.
It just looks like crap. It looks like crap. Nobody will want it. If they want it, they could take it. But it is I literally have to spend like an hour a morning just getting the mats out of the back because it's so thin.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
do you feel like that with your beard?
My beard mostly takes care of itself. I did have to shave it down. I'm going back to work like in a week, like work, which is a trip. Yeah.
Is it a
weird.
regular or is it a regular job?
It's kind of like I'm recurring on a miniseries. It's a Ryan Murphy American crime story about the Clinton impeachment.
Oh,
So
this is cool.
it's
playing
gonna be fun, interesting. I'm the cigar. I play Paula Jones' husband. Yeah, so it's interesting. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm like trepidatious a little bit, but they've been so diligent with the test. I get tested every 3 times a week once we start shooting,
and they shove that thing up your nose, right? You got to do the nose.
Yeah. They did not hire the gentle people. They hired the very, very firm, diligent COVID testers. So yeah. So the beard. My point about that is that the beard will be going down to stubble soon, and I let it go all the way, and then about 4 weeks ago I had to trim it. It was too crazy, but the beard takes care of itself. I have like longer hair than I've maybe had since early college, and then since Here Come the Joneses. This is like the longest it's been. But I have a young daughter who brushing out the hair is such a task. So I can.
Yeah,
empathize.
you know how it is. So basically, I was holding out, and then it's still not safe, and I'm like, I have to get my roots done. I don't want to see what this real color is. I don't want to see. There's
what if
several
it's something incredible though? What if it's like diamond? What if it's like Twilight?
There's a couple of diamond colored hairs in here, and I don't know if you have any gray hairs, but it's not a good look. I don't like it. It makes me feel I'm a Peter Pan in denial about my age, and I'll be 80 and I'll be like, let's go do some video games,
Yeah, great.
So I don't want to see this. So I'm getting the color and the cut all in once, and I'm going to the fancy ass salon. Nice. And I'm spending the money because I don't spend money on anything now except for stuff for my ass. Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
Exactly.
HDMI cords, maybe a fresh HDMI cord.
Yeah, I did splurge on my camera and my lens and my lights and stuff like that. Okay, so and I did a book recording. Have you ever recorded a book, Taran?
I never have. I did a narrative podcast like a year and a half ago. That was
Oh,
fascinating.
that's cool. How was that
Um,
experience for you?
it was very interesting because they were very excited about sort of like the spatial design of it, and they had like a mic that was literally a human head. So when you talk to it, or if you leaned to whisper, it only went in one ear, and that's how people would hear it. Like it was
What?
being recorded as people would hear, as if they were standing in the space. I listened
Okay.
to it. It sounded like a podcast, but but the process was interesting just because we were up on our feet and we were moving around. That was fun. But I think I'd be pretty good at recording the books
It
because I've
really
been
just
listening to more audiobooks. And I bet
it's
you're
such
great at it.
I was okay at it, but I say a lot of words weird strangely. So I say
Okay.
button and kitten.
Sure.
And I say like we spent 10 minutes trying to figure out how to say the word trebuchet, which I don't know. That's my kind of book that I would say is trebuchet, which is like a catapult kind of thing.
Oh, it's
Um,
not when you take a dump for like a family member to honor them. Oh man, I just took a tribute shit. This is for you, Nana. Ah, man, I just took a tribute shit. It's not that.
no, but I wish it was.
Okay.
Oh my God. Guys, okay, people are yelling at me in the chat. Usually I try to ignore the chat when we're doing the audio, but guys, I'm sorry, the audio director looked it up and I said trebuchet and they said
Okay.
and she was saying there's no warrant for us to say it in the French. So, listen, I know guys, I said trebuchet and she was like, "No, it's trebuchet." So I had to say it. So if you listen to this book, which is amazing and you're going to like it when I tell you about it,
Yeah.
but just when you hear that word, just know that I was corrected. Okay.
Okay.
Did you now before we're gonna do some questions and then we're gonna play some Goose Game after this. The audio people don't know this, and I'm sorry about that. But I do a section on things that I've read that week that I was really interested in or watched or enjoyed. And so is there any media that you would recommend right now? You don't even have to do it last
Ooh.
week. You just do things that you really recommend that you really enjoy.
Sure. Our favorites, Pen 15 season 2 is out. I think it's just the funniest show out there.
Mhm.
That's my favorite comedy. Although I will say we just finished The Great last night, and that was a very aptly named show because that was great.
I really want to see
Um,
that.
It's so good. We loved I May Destroy You, Michaela
Oh
Cole's
yeah, I really want to
show.
see that too.
Ooh, it's heavy. That's not as fun and lighthearted, but it's beautifully done.
Mhm.
Um, and then in terms of reading, right now I'm reading Snow Crash, which I've tried to read
I
several
have done
times,
that
but I'm
too,
not
and I
gonna.
went back to it, and I loved it, but I could
Yeah,
not read it at him and Bruce Sterling. I had to revisit as an adult, and then I fell in love, but it was
yeah.
not a teenage sort of read to me.
And that,
To me,
that was that was my struggle, and I agree. I'm the rhythm of it, being a more advanced reader at this point, is so helpful.
Mhm.
So I'm loving that, and I also finished this book called The Shadow of the Wind by a Spanish
Oh,
author whose name's I'm blanking on, but it's basically about a kid whose father works at a bookshop in Barcelona after World War II, and
I
it's
just bought this book because I
oh,
love books set in Barcelona. I swear to God, I just have it on. I put it on my shelf like 2 days ago.
I
I
loved
can't.
it. I
Okay, I can't read it.
loved
I
it.
can't wait.
Yeah.
I love Barcelona. Have you been there?
I've never been, but boy, am I excited to go now after reading that book.
It is my favorite place in the world. I fantasize about buying an
Wow.
apartment there, even though it's like, why? Why would you do that? You don't have that money.
Wow.
A and B. Why would you do that?
Not with that lens.
Not with this lens. I just fritter the money away.
That
That
was
and
your
my
villa.
highlights
That was your
tomorrow.
villa right there.
Exactly. That's my pied a terre. Okay, we're gonna do a couple questions
Okay.
to do the last half of this. Skylar Villa asks if you could film or vacation in a country you don't have a stamp in for your passport, which country would you choose and why? Okay. Well, okay, for a country you don't have a stamp for, so a place you haven't
Never
been.
been. Yes.
Okay, with that, and it doesn't even have to be film. I'm gonna just change your just go,
Sure.
but film if you want.
Me first. Okay.
Yeah, you first.
Easy. New Zealand. Easy.
Oh yeah.
Done in a second
Yeah.
for the obvious like location scan, but it just looks beautiful. It's the first country that had no COVID related cases.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the spot for me.
Have you seen
what's
great
yours?
houses of there's a great architecture around the world. It's like a Netflix series about like every season's like 10 houses. One of the best houses I've ever seen in my life is in New Zealand. And I'm like, who are these people? How do they afford these houses and built them from scratch? I don't care. I just want to live in your house.
Is it in Hobbiton?
It's near there. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty spectacular. Okay, so New Zealand is a good one. I would have to say Japan because I've never been to Japan. I'd love to film in Tokyo. I feel like yeah, top 5 bucket list places I have not been. So do you travel a lot? You mostly film in LA, right? That's shows that you've been on? Or New York. You were obviously in New York.
There was a lot of domestic travel when Kobe was doing How I Met Your Mother and I was on SNL. There was a 4-year overlap there. So I was going back.
How did you do that? That seems really hard.
Just a lot of air miles. It was not great. It was not fun. And we already had a child at that point. So it was challenging. And certainly it felt like there was some big sacrifice. But also you look at the situation and it's champagne problems as well.
Yeah, you can't say no to SNL. You're like, exactly. That's like the pinnacle, right? Like you can't say no to that. It was
my dream job. It was my dream jobs, after after I got to do Mad TV when I was 19, my like singular focus goal in the entertainment industry was to try to at least get to audition for SNL. So
I remember like when you were like, it was just incredible. Like what your ability to do characters. It's just it's such a specific, like everybody cannot do that. That is like a percentage of people who are in this business. And so I'm so glad you got that opportunity.
Thank you. For
okay. What is your choice of drink? Says Tori.
Man,
what is your choice of drink? Especially, she says for board game night. And also this question was directed to Ruth Connell, but she was here last week. So I'm just using this because I just want to know what you drink.
I'll answer for Ruth. She loves Crantini. No, at first I didn't understand that it was like an adult cocktail, but I'm a bourbon guy. I love a Blanton single rock.
That's my brother. He loves his bourbon and his whiskey. It is insane. Yeah.
Well, then it's a good thing I played your brother in the pilot because I was drawing from real life.
My God.
If I'm going trashy on a game night, I'll do a tequila and squirt.
What is it? What?
Yeah.
Squirt, what's that called?
The citrus soda, the Taran Killam. It's just you put like a good amount of, of Don Julio silver in there. And then the other half is squirt. And all that sugar gets into your bloodstream real fast.
So that's like a Squirtle jerk. I would call it a Squirtle jerk.
Squirtle jerk? I'll take it. I'll spread that. I'm just going to do a quick Squirtle jerk. Shoot my squirt?
Shoot your squirt.
Squirt shot?
I'm just like a rum and Coke person. I think that's really cheesy and I love some rum and I just don't know what else to put it in. So that's my drink.
I love that. Yeah, you have to. It's either like Coke or like heavy coconut cream with pineapple juice.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I also like pure absinthe because of my torment. Yep. Okay. Next question. What were your early influences in gaming, comedy, or in life that inspired you for your career? Says MS23K Temple. Do you have like a specific show that you like, oh my God, I really want to be an actor because of that? Was it SNL? What was it?
My relationship with SNL is weird because I was always a fan my whole life, but I think like the concept of being on it didn't come till I was like more adult and could conceive of the path. To me, like Jim Carrey was the guy. So Ace and his mixture of like Ace Ventura, Mask, Dumb and Dumber, Batman Forever, while just finishing In Living Color, like that combination, that was like he is a god, and so that was big inspiration there for career stuff. For gaming, we just always had an NES, and Contra was really like the first hardcore passion where it was like, I gotta make time for Contra. But Nick Arcade was a really great tool for promoting games coming up. Do you remember Nick Arcade?
I did not. My mom wouldn't let me have a console. I was only PC because she thought that I would waste my time on a console when I in fact played 8 hours a day on the PC.
So you're looking at Tetris.
She would be like, yep, Tetris, and she would be like, "What are you guys doing? Math Blaster? Okay, never come in to look.
Great,
never, not once."
Math is a good word.
Mavis Beacon typing woman, like I was like, no, we're not playing that, but we're just going to tell you, you're not coming in here.
I love it. I
Whatever.
wish I had a better PC education. My family was like a little PC stunted, but we did missed like consumed our whole household.
Mhm.
All of us were
It's
trying
really
to crack
good.
this. And when you get into the, I don't know if you remember, like there's like mine cars at one point
Mhm,
underneath, and it's a labyrinth of mine cars. Like
They're doing a
that.
television show for that.
Oh,
They're
brilliant.
actually filming a TV show, which is like
It's the Red Book Brother. It's the Red Book Brother.
Spoiler alert! God damn
Don't
you,
click.
Taran.
Don't click on the Red Book Brother.
Don't do it. All right, last question. Let's see. I'm attempting to write my first book, says Dark Prophet, and I've ordered yours for inspiration. Thank you so much. I wrote a book called Embrace Your Weird. It's a creativity book. Open it up. FeliciaDayBook.com. And I've ordered yours for inspiration, but I was wondering if you had any advice for writer's block. So, Taran, you have done quite a bit of writing on SNL. And do you do writing outside of that? And how do you find that process? And how do you get your pen on the paper or your finger on a keyboard?
Great question. Yeah, lot of writing. A couple movies. There's a movie that I wrote and directed called Killing Gunther that you can find a video on demand. Yeah, it's like a mockumentary about the world's worst hitmen and Arnold Schwarzenegger is in it. It was super project. Yeah,
and you directed it? I had no idea.
I directed it. It's a flawed movie, but I am also very proud of it and loved it. And I learned a lot about my writing process during that.
Yeah,
and that absolutely there'd be days where I was stuck. Early on, something that was helpful was a book called The Artist's Way, which I'm sure.
That's basically kind of what I wrote. I wrote a funny version of not like that of exactly that, but that was I love The Artist's Way. It really got me over my hump. I read it many years ago, but then I went back to it, and she does talk about like spirits and stuff, and I'm just
yeah. I know. I kept up with it. What I really loved about it more than anything was like the journaling, just like set a page amount, and I think she starts with 10, but you could do 5, whatever you do, like just set a page amount and just start writing stream of consciousness. Like I am sitting here, I am writing. Why am I writing? I hate this writing. I'm not going to write anything different than I am writing. But you do that and you fill the 10 pages, and it does shake something up. And I do find that helpful at times when I'm feeling like, especially if there's a deadline and I'm like, I got to get it done by this point. Exercises like that help. And then always for me, it's music. Music can shift my mood. Music can put my headspace. So, and particularly with soundtracks, because then you're drawing from sort of the emotional feel that you had from movies and soundtracks that you love. You know, like you'll hear Star Wars and that made me feel this way, and that can kind of crack things open too.
Those are very good. That's great advice. I would say the same thing. I just like, you got to dump out the crap to get to the good stuff. So I call it in the book. I'm like, back the dump truck up and just like dump your shit onto a page and then delete it afterwards. Because then you're just like, oh, there's no penalty to this. Nobody will see it. Not even me later. It's just gone. It's like a poop. You don't want to keep your poop around and look at it, right?
It's like a tribute shit.
Anyway. Exactly. Okay. Well, thank you, Taran, for coming here. Where can everybody follow you on your Twitch?
Okay. So my Twitch is Tarzan No Z, because that's how you spell my name. It's Tarzan without the Z. So come check that out. Mondays, Wednesday nights. If obviously Felicia,
it's okay. You guys can double window it, or you could go
We
back.
love video watches. We love video watches.
Exactly.
And then that's my Instagram as well. And then on Twitter, I'm just Taran Killam, at Taran Killam, my name.
Exactly. Okay, good branding. So we're going to go offline, and then we'll come back for a little goose game, you guys, in 5 minutes. Stick around, chat. Thank you, listeners. And thanks for listening, and also subscribe and like the podcast if you like it, because I just do it for fun now. Okay. Bye, you guys. We'll see you in 5 minutes.